All right, so Meta's Connect event, huh? They really went all out this year, huh? AI, new gadgets, the whole nine yards. What'd you think?
It's been wild. I
Yeah.
mean, have you ever seen so much tech news packed into 48 hours? We've got official announcements coming out our ears, some really thought-provoking pieces from places like Techopedia and even less wrong. And of course, we got to give a shout out to Matt Wolf for his, shall we say, colorful commentary.
Right. Love his energy. But yeah, as always, we're here to cut through the noise and get you the good stuff. you know?
Yeah.
So think of this deep dive as our attempt to make sense of it all. The big trends, the strategy behind the scenes, all that.
Exactly. We're not just here to summarize the headlines, but really understand the why behind Meta's moves and hopefully give you, the listener, some food for thought along the way.
Exactly. Okay, so first up, the headlines. I mean, come on, a brand new MetaQuest 3S. And even cheaper than before. Okay, cool. But then they hit us with the Quest 3, even more affordable. I mean, talk about a 1-2 punch.
They definitely know how to grab the spotlight.
And then, just when we thought it couldn't get any wilder, they dropped the AI bombshell. AI that can literally talk in celebrity voices. I mean, is that real life?
Straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But while those features are definitely cool, I think what's really telling here is Meta's overall strategy. They are making a huge e-push to bring VR and AR to the masses. This new Quest 3S, they're calling it their most affordable mixed reality headset yet.
Which, when you think about it, makes perfect sense, right? I mean, Zuckerberg's been pretty upfront about his whole vision of AR glasses eventually replacing our smartphones.
He has, and it's not just about, strapping a screen to your face. From the sources you sent over, it seems Zuckerberg truly believes this is a more natural, more immersive way to interact with technology and each other. Imagine going to meetings, playing games, experiencing art, all without holding a clunky device. That's the future he's painting.
Wow. Okay, when you put it like that, I get why they're so all in on this. But let's not forget, Meta isn't the only one playing in this virtual sandbox.
Not even close. Apple, Google, everyone and their techie cousin is trying to get a piece of this pie.
Speaking of which, did you see that Matt Wolf actually got his hands on those Project Orion AR glasses? The ones that are supposed to blow those Ray-Ban Meta glasses out of the water.
Oh, yeah. With the built-in camera and all that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those are supposed to be light years ahead, though. And Wolf, well, he was geeking out about this new memory feature. You can basically record what you see and experience and then relive it later.
That's wild.
Right. It's like total sensory overload in the best way possible.
It's definitely pushing the boundaries. But like with all new tech, there are some caveats. Those Orion glasses, as cool as they sound, they're still pretty expensive and probably a few years away before they're actually in most people's hands.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it seems like affordability is really the name of the game for Meta right now. Get it out there, get it in people's homes, make it accessible. But here's where it really gets interesting. They're not stopping at just the hardware. They're going all in on AI too. And, well, that's a whole other can of worms we need to crack open. So Meta wants everyone using their VR and AR stuff, but then they hit us with this whole AI blitz too. AI assistants everywhere, image generation, translations, the works. They even claim there's no link between social media and, get this, teen mental health. Bold move, right?
Yeah, Zuckerberg's comments on that one were something else. But it shows how much they're betting on AI for, well, everything, even if it ruffles some feathers along the way.
No kidding. Okay, so AI developments, they're coming in hot and heavy, so let's break it down. First up, Lama 3.2, right? A big upgrade to their Meta AI. And it's their first open source model that gets both text and images. So, I'm not a coder or anything, but explain it to me like I'm 5. What does open source even mean here, and why would Meta do that?
Good question. It's a big deal in the AI world right now. Basically, open source means they're making the code for Llama 3.2 public. Anyone can look at it, mess around with it, build on it. It's like instead of selling the cake, they're giving away the recipe.
Okay, I get the analogy, but what's the strategy there? Is Meta just feeling generous, or what?
Not quite, haha. See, Meta's hoping this open approach will make innovation go into hyperdrive. You get thousands of people tinkering with the AI, making it smarter, faster. That's the potential of open source, right? And of course, it could help them stay ahead of the competition, which in AI is getting pretty fierce.
So, bit of a gamble, but with a potentially huge payoff.
Exactly. But your Less Wrong article makes a good point. There are risks, too. Like, imagine this tech in the wrong hands. We could see some seriously convincing disinformation campaigns, that kind of thing. A real Pandora's box if we're not careful.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. It will be interesting to see how that all plays out. So open source AI is one thing, but then there's the whole AI clone thing they announced, and honestly, This one kind of freaks me out a little bit, not going to lie.
I get it. It's definitely one of the more, shall we say, futuristic things to come out of Connect. The idea is you train an AI on your personal data, your posts, photos, even your voice, and it basically creates a digital you.
So theoretically, you could have a conversation with like a deceased loved one's AI clone. It's like digital immortality or something. I don't know. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? Like, what does that do to our sense of self, our understanding of death and grief? And then there's the whole privacy can of worms.
Exactly. It's like, cool, I can talk to my grandma again, but also kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we've got AI that can make us sound like Morgan Freeman, AI clones that blur the lines of life and death.
Yeah.
But Meta wasn't done there. They also kind of threw some shade at creators, saying they overestimate the value of their work in training AI. I mean, ouch, right?
Yeah, that definitely got some people riled up, and understandably so. It's a sensitive topic. If AI can pump out content that's just as good as what a human can do, what does that mean for artists, writers, musicians? How do we make sure they're not getting the short end of the stick?
It's a big question and not one with easy answers, that's for sure. I know Matt Wolf, our tech YouTuber friend, he has some thoughts on that one, to say the least. And he's a creator himself, so it hits close to home.
For sure. If anyone understands the work that goes into creating something original, it's the people doing it day in and day out.
Absolutely. Okay, so Meta's making big moves, sometimes controversial, but definitely shaking things up. But they're not the only game in town. Remember that whole OpenAI drama last year? Turns out things are still kind of messy over there, so Meta's off to the races, right? But OpenAI, not so much. Remember all that drama last year, the whole CEO thing? Yeah, it turns out there's still fallout from that whole mess.
Definitely. Meta wants us to think AI progress is this unstoppable force, but OpenAI is a reminder that it's not just about the tech itself, Leadership, ethics, responsibility, all that gets messy too.
Yeah, no kidding. For those who missed the AI drama of the century, what even went down at OpenAI? Give us the TL, Takaru.
Well, like that less wrong piece you sent over said, it all started when the board just up and fired Sam Altman, their CEO, something about leadership style, communication issues, that kind of thing. But then, oh boy, then the employees went full-on revolt. Resignations, open letters, slamming the board. Microsoft even got pulled in. It was nuts.
Talk about a PR nightmare, huh? So what happened? They just caved and rehired the guy.
Basically. Board stepped down. Altman was back in. New board, the whole 9 yards. It's supposed to be a fresh start, right? Except not so fast. Techopedia has been covering a bunch of big names leaving OpenAI since then. Top researchers, engineers, even some of the OG founders. People are calling it a mass exodus. Makes you wonder if it's more than just the Altman thing,
Yeah, people don't usually jump ship from those kinds of jobs unless something's up. So what's the deal? What are they saying?
Hard to say for sure. It's probably a bunch of things, right? Some folks are probably still sour about the whole how they handled Altman in the first place. But others, they might be worried about OpenAI's direction overall. Like, they started out with this whole thing about AI needing to benefit all of humanity, remember? Now they're going for profit, and that makes people nervous. Can you really serve two masters like that?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings us full circle, right? Meta's going open source once everyone involved. Could be amazing, could be chaos. OpenAI is dealing with internal drama, questions about their values. It's like, we're at this turning point for AI, and which way things go, well, it affects us all.
Absolutely. We are on the edge of something huge, no doubt. And the choices being made right now, even the questions we're asking, that's what'll shape the future. Is AI going to empower us, connect us, help us solve problems? Or is it going to be used to manipulate, control, make the bad stuff worse?
Big questions, and I don't think anyone has all the answers yet. But that's kind of the point of all this, right? It's on you as all of us to pay attention, to talk about this stuff, demand transparency from these companies, and really think critically about how WE want AI to be used. Because this isn't some sci-fi movie. It's happening NOW and the ending. We're all writing it together. So stay curious out there, stay informed, and stay engaged. That's all the time we have for this deep dive, but hey, the conversation never really ends, does it? We'll catch you next time for another look at the ever-changing world around us.